여러분 안녕하세요. 대한민국 영어 감잡기 프로젝트 데미안과 함께하는 너쉬영북 시간입니다. 이번 시간은 34강 리딩입니다. 96쪽 중간쯤부터 시작하겠습니다. My thoughts returned to this small incident with Demian. I could not forget him, and the words he said to me in that bar at the edge of town would come to mind, strangely fresh and intact. It's good to realize that within us there is someone who knows everything. How I longed for Demian. I had no idea where he was, nor how I could reach him. All I knew was that he was presumably studying at some university and that his mother had left town after he completed the preparatory school. I tried to remember whatever I could of Max Demian, reaching back as far as the Cromer episode. How much of what he had said to me over the years returned to mind, was still meaningful today, was appropriate and concerned me. And what he had said on our last and quite disagreeable meeting about a wasted life leading to sainthood suddenly also stood clearly before me. Wasn't that exactly what had happened to me? Hadn't I lived in drunkenness and squalor, dazed and lost, until just the opposite had come alive in me, with a new zest for life, the longing for purity, the yearning for the sacred? So I continued to pursue these memories. Night had long since come, and now rain was falling. In my memories, too, I heard the rain. It was the hour under the chestnut trees, when he had probed me about Francis Cromer and guessed my first secrets. One incident after another came back to me, conversations on the way to school, the confirmation classes, and last of all, my first meeting with him. What had we talked about? I couldn't find it at once, but I gave myself time, concentrating intensely. And now even that returned. We had stood before my parents' house after he had told me his version of the story of Cain. Then he had mentioned the old half-hidden coat of arms situated in the keystone about our entrance. He had said that such things interested him and that one ought to attend to them. That night, I dreamed of Demian and the coat of arms. It kept changing continuously. Demian held it in his hand. Often it was diminutive and gray, often powerful and varicolored. But he explained to me that it was always one and the same thing. In the end, he obliged me to eat the coat of arms. When I had swallowed it, I felt to my horror that the heraldic bird was coming to life inside me, had begun to swell up and devour me from within. Deathly afraid, I started up in bed, awoke. I was wide awake. It was the middle of the night, and I could hear rain pouring into the room. As I got up to close the window, I stepped on something that shone bright on the floor. In the morning, I discovered that it had been my painting. It lay in a puddle and the paper had warped. I placed it between two sheets of blotting paper inside a heavy book. When I looked at it again the next day, it was dry but had changed. The red mouth had faded and contracted a little. It now looked exactly like Demian's mouth. I set about painting a fresh picture of the heraldic bird. I could not remember distinctly what it looked like, and certain details, as I knew, could not be made out even from close-up, because the thing was old and had often been painted over. The bird stood or perched on something, perhaps on a flower or on a basket or a nest or on a treetop. I couldn't trouble myself over this detail and began with what I could visualize clearly. Out of an indistinct need, I at once began to employ loud colors, painting the bird's head a golden yellow. Whenever the mood took me, I worked on the picture, bringing it to completion in several days. Now it represented a bird of prey with a proud aquiline sparrowhawk's head, half its body stuck in some dark globe, out of which it was struggling to free itself, as though from a giant egg. All of this against a sky blue background. As I continued to scrutinize the sheet, it looked to me more and more like the many-colored coat of arms that had occurred to me in my dream. 오늘은 여기까지 읽겠습니다. 오늘 영상이 여러분이 영어의 감을 잡는 데 도움이 되었다면 구독, 좋아요로 꼭 알려주세요. 더 좋은 영상을 만드는 데 큰 힘이 될 것입니다. 여러분 끝까지 함께 해주셔서 감사합니다.